but tonight is my very last progesterone injection.
Best part of the job.
No.
This one, babe.
Okay.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
I have had 56 injections. That's not counting the Lupron injections in my stomach. That is just rear injections, intramuscular for progesterone. And tonight, after 56, we are done. I'm thankful, my rear is thankful, and I'm pretty sure Dan's thankful as well. He has given me every single injection. I have this fear of needles, of like injecting them myself, as you guys know, but he has done them, and so it's been a huge blessing. But he has had to miss several events because he had to be here for my injections. So yay for them being done. I wanted to do a how-to video to see if it would be helpful. I do have a few other ones on my website, but why not do another one? Dan preps my needle and gets my injection ready and then just lets me know when he needs me, but he is on a podcast call, and so I'm going to show you how to do it. So basically we gather supplies. We're going to grab our 18 gauge 1.5 inch needle. Mine are color coded, which is nice because then it helps us differentiate, but you can also tell that the needle is huge. And then next up, you're gonna grab the attachment needle because this is the one you draw up the medication with, and then there's a separate one for injecting. We have a 22 gauge, but then sometimes you have a 21 gauge. Very, very similar. The 21 gauge is a little bit bigger, so the higher the number the gauge, the smaller the needle. The lower the number the gauge, the bigger the needle. So we grab our injecting needle, a alcohol prep pad, medication obviously, and then something new we've added in. All right, so right away you wanna wash your hands. I've already done that. Tear the alcohol prep pad, wipe off the top because you don't want any bacteria or germs to be on this, and then the needle push it down into the vial. And then we're gonna start opening our needle, and you never wanna touch like the top of it, and so there's a little bit of a cover in there that when you pull it off, we just keep the lid in there, and then again, you don't want to touch the needle at all. My prescription is for 1 milliliter, so you draw back to the 1, and we're going to inject air into the bottle because injecting a little bit of air into it helps build up the pressure. That way it draws the medication into the syringe easier. Because this needle is so wide, sometimes you can tell little chunks of that rubber will go down into it, and so instead of going straight down, I'd like to push down like as it injects, because then it pushes the rubber kind of out of the way before I put it in. So after I inject the air into the vial, I'm gonna bring the needle down beneath the liquid, because if you keep it above it, you're gonna suck up air. So if you're down beneath it, you're only gonna get the medication, and then start drawing back the needle, and you may have to lower it down a little bit. And I always draw back a little bit past the 1. That way if I have an air bubble in there, which I do, you can see, I'll turn it up, flick it to where the whole air bubble is in the middle of the syringe. And then I'm gonna inject that air bubble back into there until I get to 1 milliliter. And then I'm done. So then you draw out, and then you're gonna take your needle and you're gonna recap it. It's nice if you lay this flat on the table, because if you try to push this into the lid while you're holding it, there's a chance you can stab yourself, which you don't want. So let me set this down. Hi, baby.
Talking to yourself in here?
No, I'm doing your work for you because you're busy. No. So then once you have it recapped, now we need to put the new needle on. But first, there's medication all up in this needle that you want, because that's part of like your 1 mil. You're gonna draw back until you get a little air bubble, and that's okay because we're gonna push it out whenever we get the new attachment on. Then this is done. I'm gonna open my second one. Again, don't touch that top because you don't want any bacteria on it. We're gonna twist the old one off, set it down, and then we're gonna twist the new one on. And we can keep that cap on it still. Now from here, that whole air bubble we want to push through to the needle, and you'll see a drop of liquid come through the top, and then you know that air bubble is completely gone and there's medication prepped in the needle. There we go. See that little bead of liquid? Look at it. It's magical. Needle is prepped and ready. So from here, we're gonna take our old, awfully large needle and put it in our sharps container. I have 3 of these completely full. So crazy. Put that away because we don't need it anymore. We're gonna throw some trash away. We're gonna grab our shot reducer, our needle, and our alcohol prep pad. But at this point, we are completely ready. Now, one thing you may want to do, it does not happen often, but I would say once, maybe twice within your prescription protocol, you will have a bleeder. Sometimes you hit like a blood vessel in your rear, and before you can grab a gauze pad or toilet paper, it's already dripping down your cheek onto your bed or your couch. So sometimes it's nice to lay a towel down. It's not necessary, but I promise you, if that happens, you'll be thankful that you have it. Now, one thing I want to mention, that last journey, we used an ice pack to numb the injection site. We found that the first half of the journey, or the first half of like my medication schedule, it worked great. But then there were a few times where we didn't have an ice pack on us and I couldn't numb the area, and we did the injection and the pain level was the exact same whether I numbed it or not, and so we just kind of stopped doing it. Another thing that we are doing differently this time, or that we did differently, was I think just out of like, we just forgot. Last journey, we would warm up the vial before injecting from it so you could put it like under your armpit or like in your bra. Because this is in sesame oil, it's really thick, so if it's a little bit warmer, it helps thin it out and just inject a little bit easier. Again, we like forgot to do it, and then a week or so into it, we're like, oh yeah, we weren't really warming it up. And we're like, well, it's fine, seems to be okay, so we just didn't do it. Sometimes things work for people, sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's helpful in the moment or just like for your mind, and if so, then do it. But just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean it will be helpful for you on your journey with your injections. So do what works for you. If you want to ice, great, do it. If you want to warm up the oil, do it, but you don't have to. Whenever you leave your fertility clinic and they send you on your way, before you do your first injection, they can draw a circle on your rear to help you know where the site is, but it is on the upper outside quadrant of your cheek. So if it's on your left cheek, it's upper outside quadrant over here. If it's on the right, it's the upper outside on that side. And you'll start to know and get familiar with the areas and where hurts the least. So sometimes you need to move in a little bit, or up, down, or out. And after so many shots, there's just dots everywhere, and you just know. Like, let me show you mine really quick. So this is the side that hurts probably the least, but also I have some numbing that like runs down, which is just kind of normal, or just past injections. So Dan knows that this is the area that he injects, and he just kind of like finds a new spot each time. And then on this side, same thing. And bruising is very normal. That is the reason why you alternate sides. So one night do one side, one night do the other. He massages the area out a little bit just to work in that medication so that it doesn't just stay concentrated in one spot, but it's massaged and kind of moved throughout the muscle. All right, so now I'm gonna get Dan, we're gonna do the injection. The best way that I have found to do the injection is if I lay completely flat on a bed or a couch or a floor, or I've done like a bench at Kinsey's before, where I take all of the weight off of the cheek that's getting injected. Because if you have weight on it, the muscle's contracted and tight, and the needle going into that is just way more painful. If I lay down, I'm like my most relaxed. There have been times where I've had to like lean over a counter, or we were on a road trip and I had to like lean over the seat with like while standing on my opposite leg outside of the vehicle. And so there's times where you have to like make it work for you. For those of you who are self-injecting, my last journey, I injected one time and I sat down on like the toilet seat, or some people do it on the countertop. You sit on your opposite cheek that you're injecting in is less flexed, and you inject into that one. If that helps, great. I'm not the one to give advice on that because I don't know, but that's just how it worked for me the first time. And then what I've heard from other people is kind of sitting on the edge of the sink. But let's go lay down and do our very last progesterone shot. All right, before we do the injection, I usually have him feel around to see which side has a knot and which side doesn't.
Best part of the job.
No, for real though. Oh, that left side is so numb still.
Yeah, we'll go right side.
Okay, so we're gonna do right. How long do you go in a circle for? 5 or 10 seconds?
Yeah, got all the bubbles out.
All the bubbles, got the needle prepped.
Then we get our gauze or toilet paper. We just have that ready, and that way as soon as the needle comes out, I can put pressure on it, kind of massage it in to the muscle. As long as there's no big knot, I go in the same exact spots. This, it's got these fine little points on it. I don't know if you've seen someone lay on a bed of nails, but it like, it's kind of like that. It just
like little pressure points.
Stimulates this area to not recognize this as like something totally different. But what I do is I pinch tight. I think you're supposed to put the needle through there. I don't. I just put this on the side. So I'll grab a chunk of cheek, pinch it in between, and then with the needle, it's not a slow jab, it's fast.
And you always say, "Are you ready?"
Yep, I say, "Are you ready?"
And then, hold on. And then I have to like mentally prepare myself. I say yes, and then I just breathe through it. Lately I've been like plugging my ears so I don't hear the countdown, and so I'm like kind of thrown off by it. And then I just like breathe deeply out. Every now and then it's really, really, really painful, and so I like let out a scream or a word or two.
Normally I fill the syringe. She did have a huge bubble in there.
Oh, just kidding. That's why I have Dan do it. Okay.
Ready?
No,
so
but
it's
yes.
Not a slow jab.
It's our last
it's
one.
a fast dart. Last one, babe.
Okay.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
fast
that one did
jab.
hurt.
Depress it. You don't have to like super soaker it in there. You just slowly depress it, release, and pull out. 3, 2, 1.
And massage it. Ah!
And massage.
Keep going. The massaging helps so much right away.
And she directs where I put pressure.
Because sometimes he's in the wrong spot and it just needs to be massaged a different way. Babe, 56.
Only 56,
Only 56.
This time.
Yeah,
time
last
was
journey
70.
we had 70 something. That's insane.
We did it.
So crazy. We sit here for a few minutes. Sometimes it's just like a minute, but then sometimes it stings, which if it happens, it's okay. It just happens and it's not fun.
As a whole, this whole time went better.
Yeah, it
You
did.
had more numbing than last time, but you had so many that were like, oh, that was fine.
One bleeder, one night where it stung for a couple hours, and then several numbs, and then so many like, oh, that was easy. Oh, that was easy. And then just a handful like, oh, that's not very fun. But tonight is probably one of those like not very fun days.
You had a lot more tears this go round,
Yeah.
not shot related, but a lot less tear shot related, so that's a win.
Babe, we did it.
And we're good.
Woo! And then I don't ever do like a Band-Aid because if anything, it's just like a little dot of blood, but if you have to, feel free to use one. I just pull my pants up and continue on with my day. Technically, my night. And so sometimes I'll like walk around and keep massaging it for a little bit so that I don't just lay on it right away, just to continue like moving that muscle and moving that medication through. Then we just head to bed. I really hope that was helpful. We are going to continue sharing this journey. I am nearing the end of first trimester. It's been a crazy journey because it has been just a lot of morning sickness, a lot of nausea, and like Dan said, a lot of tears, but so excited for Jake and Kenzie and can't wait to see how this journey plays out. If you don't already, you can follow us on all platforms at We Are Dan and Sam, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this video to stay updated on everything we're doing. We'll see you guys. Bye.